Hi there, the name's Nico, and today I'll be going over patch notes 0.58.b. I honestly really didn't expect the patch notes so quickly after the last one, considering we just had one yesterday. But regardless, I just wanted to cover it as well, because I want to do my best to start covering all the patch note stuff. So let's begin. Transfer console mutants. Mutants are going up by 10% HP. I guess they thought that the mutants were dying too quickly, so they gave more HP. Transfer consoles have been changed that they doesn't take as long for it to be delivered, but the costs are also being changed as well. So first aid kits are going down in price because no one buys them because it's not worth it in this game. That's just the honest truth. Don't spend your points on first aid kits unless you like absolutely have no food at all. It's not worth your time or your points. Tree of Life and Meteorite both going up in cost. This is to prevent people from getting it easily during day 2, because most of the time you have enough credits to buy it immediately as day 2 starts. So instead of going for like alpha, you could have like 4 different people at each one of these consoles, as long as even if it's like in red zone timer, if they're willing to sacrifice their timer. I guess Mithril staying at 60, so whatever. Force Core is going up to 80 and BF's going up for 100. They're just trying to make it so that rare resources are less common among the map, but I think that's a good thing overall. And I guess there's like some issue where if someone died on top of one of these boxes, or like an animal died, you wouldn't be able to pick up the box. So they fixed it so that you were able to actually loot the box, which I would really hate it if there's this dumb animal that I got killed was on top of my loot. But whatever. Well, good change. That's what I mean. Good change. All characters getting 20 more HP. Sure. Okay. Laura, the teachings of Neria, which her passive has been apparently broken, so it's working now. Scylla is getting nerfed. I did play a bunch of her yesterday in solos. I still think she's way too squishy in solos to do too well, but again, I'm not a good solo player, so it could just be that I am not good. I don't know. So she is getting nerfed at max HP loss, because like Cecile is really good at percentage skill amp, and she's also getting her Q damage reduced a bit as well, and I honestly think it makes sense. I think especially in team modes, this would be like really dominant to go against. Adriana, if you didn't play Adriana yesterday, you would have noticed that she was incredibly weak, just because they've changed her passive to not be, well, since her passive does not scale off of extra skill damage, since that doesn't exist in the game anymore. Her passive does not do that much damage, so they've buffed it. And as well as her Q, since her Q is now skill amp instead of true damage, this also does not do that much damage either, because now you actually have defense against her flamethrower, so they buffed it. Ava is getting nerfed in the early game for her ultimate, but buffed in the late game. I don't know if she really needed a buff in the late game. I mean, it's only by 1, but sure, I guess it's fine. So here, I honestly expected Zahir to suck, because he really was reliant on extra shield damage, and so with that being removed, he's on the weaker end right now, so they are buffing him, which makes sense. Shuriken's base range is going down, and Fuma's being nerfed. This may not be a surprise. I thought this would be nerfed. I mentioned it in my major patch notes video, because of all the other Shuriken changes, it looked like Fuma was just the best one. There was no reason to really go to any of the other ones, unless you're like rare resources wise, right? So I guess they buffed. I think they also buffed the base attack range of Shuriken in the major patch. So I guess they just reverted it. Now let's look at armor. Burgundy 47 is getting 10 defense. That's just new. They're trying to separate it from just being a better butlers, where you actually want to spend your VF on it. Laurel Reef is getting some attack power back, and they nerfed the smolder effect on it by a bit. I don't know if it's still nearly as strong. Like, it still seems like it's really good, but I've also been reading that people might just go back to using Halo now. Halo has like really good defense on it, so that's why you use Halo. So I'd have to do the testing, see which is actually better, Halo or Laurel Wreath. They might be at equal stages now, or Laurel Wreath might be better. It's probably better Laurel Wreath if you actually building tanks still. So Chinese Aftermath being buffed, I honestly think makes sense. I feel like there's only a few characters that really want Chinese Aftermath. Characters I think of specifically would be Tia and Celine. There might be a few other characters that do, but those two are the ones that stick out in my mind. And as I figured, a fan, Field of Fan, White Cream Fan is being nerfed. This was not a surprise to me at all. It seems way too strong when I was reading the patch notes, and Buddha Scriptures is being nerfed. This is just to make up for the nerfs they did on Buddha Saria, I believe, because I think that's only 5% skill amp. Could be wrong on that, but I think it's just to make them equal. And the biggest change I think for this patch is Sanguine Goonbai is heal cut is going up by 20% for each like melee and range. This is insane. Like this is pretty much means that you are like you're not going to be pretty much healing for anything. If you're going against someone with like lots of lifesteal, like you want pretty much Sanguine Goonbai. In squads, I think this is like a must-have on like at least one of your team members because you're gonna prevent healing across the whole team significantly. So this might be actually one of the strongest VF items now due to the fact that this heal reduction is insane. And this is pretty much will directly counter healing factors. Jackie, Camillo, Luke, just, it looks really good right now. Yeah, that's all the patch notes of 0.58b. This one's a little bit longer than yesterday's patch. Let me know what you guys think about the changes in the comments. I was going to make something about the credit system, but if these keep getting changed, I'm just going to hold off on it for a few days just because I want to make sure the information is up to date as much as possible so I don't have to make a new one just because they keep changing it. So yeah, I hope to see you at the next video. Bye bye.